What's up gamers, in this video we're going to be ranking every single spawn egg in Minecraft since they recently redesigned the textures and some of them are pretty good. So first up we got the Allay. I like how it's small and blue and it has the wings, so you can easily tell what mob it is. Nice tier. And next up we have the Armadillo. I kind of think that this one could have been done better because I first thought it was the rabbit because of the ears. So I'll put it in the alright tier. And now we have the Axolotl. It looks pretty similar, it's got like the little pink things around it and it just looks nice. Nice tier. And here we have the bat. It looks pretty cute. It's got like the nose and the ears and the wings. Pretty cool. Good tier. And now for the bee. I really like this one because it has the stripes and the wings and you can instantly recognize what mob it is. Good tier. Now this one might take a little bit of guessing. It's just like a standard yellow egg. Turns out that it's the blaze, which is kind of hard to guess just by looking at it. Lacking tier. And now we have the bogged. And I'm going to be completely honest, I had to look this one up. But as far as the egg goes, it's pretty cool, shows off the mob well. Nice tier. And here is the breeze egg. I actually really like this one because I like how it's more simplistic, but it still shows what mob it is. It's got like the kind of slanted, angry eyes that the breeze has, so I'll put it in the good tier. Now this one on the other hand, it's simplistic, but doesn't really represent the mob well. I get how it's like supposed to be a camel, but for me, it just does not look right. Lacking tier. And now for the cat egg. It looks pretty cool, but it doesn't look as cool as some of the others. I'm going to put it in the alright tier. And now for the cave spider. I'm going to be honest, this spider does not look great. I see it has the legs, but it would have been cooler if they include like some red for the eyes somewhere. Lacking tier. And here's the chicken. In my opinion, a perfect Minecraft spawn egg. It still looks very Minecrafty and you can tell what it is instantly. Amazing tier. And here's the cod. Also pretty good, it's got like a little bit of water around it, but just not quite as good. Nice tier. And here we have the cow, another classic. It has the same pattern that's around the cow, but also has these like kind of weird horns. And I would put this one in amazing tier, but the horns just look kind of weird. Good tier. And here we have the creaking, another brand new mob that Mojang added, and I think it does a pretty good job at showing off what it is. Looks pretty good. Nice tier. And now for the creeper egg. Again, very iconic, very Minecrafty. This is one of the only ones that has eyes for some reason, but you can't leave out the eyes on the creeper. Amazing tier. Now this is the dolphin. And I don't know if it's just me, but this does not look like a dolphin. It looks like a little iceberg or something. I get what they were trying to go for, but I think they just missed the mark a little bit. Lacking tier. Now for the donkey. I would put this one kind of on par with the camel, but a little bit better. Alright tier. And now for the drown. I like how this one doesn't just show off like the face, it shows off like the full body. It's got like the kelp for the hair, the little bit of eyes, and the clothes. Good tier. And now for the Elder Guardian. This one's kind of in the shape of a cube, but it looks a little bit weird. I'll put it at the nice tier. Still does a good job. And now for the Enderman. I'm kind of debating about this one. Because on one hand, it does look like a really cool egg, but doesn't really show off the mob inside it. Like a lot of these like their face or some distinguishing feature. This is just the general colors. But I'm kind of a fan of the more minimalistic egg, so I'll put it in the good tier. However, the Endermite, I'm just not a huge fan personally. Alright tier. And now for the Evoker. A lot of these kind of look like they're very inflated and like they're stretched out over a balloon or something. And I think that they just look really goofy. Not terrible, but I'll put it in the alright tier. And now for the fox. Does a pretty good job. Not really egg-shaped, but it's pretty good. Good tier. And now for the frog. I feel like this one should be at least a little bit more squished like frogs in Minecraft. Something about it just doesn't look right. Lacking tier. And this one is the ghast. This one did take a little bit of guessing, so it's not great at showing off the mob. Lacking tier. And now for the glow squid. If the glow squid egg was like the spider egg, it would be a good tier. But since it has no tentacles, I can't really give it anything higher than an alright tier. And now for the goat. This one is pretty good. Does a good job. Looks like an egg. Pretty minimalistic. Good tier. And now for the guardian. I don't know what it is about this one. Maybe it's just the colors, but I kind of like it more than the elder guardian. So I'll put it in the good tier. And here is the hoglin. This is a very good egg. It's a little bit detailed, but it's the right amount of detail. Amazing tier. And here we have the horse. Kind of similar to the donkey, it's got a little stripe of white, but it's pretty good. Alright tier. And here's the husk. I like how this one's kind of like the drown, but I don't think it's quite as good. Nice tier. And now for the iron golem. It does look a little bit chubby, but iron golems are pretty big mobs. So I'll give this one a good tier. And here we have the llama. It's pretty standard, so we'll give it a nice middle of the road alright tier. And here we have the magma cube egg. This might be a bit hard to tell what it is, but I think it does a pretty good job. I'll give it a nice tier. And here we have the mushroom cow. This is pretty similar to the normal cow, but a little bit different. but I'll still give it a good tier. And I think this one is the mule, so I'll put it the same as the horse and the donkey, pretty standard. Now, this is the ocelot, and I don't know if this is racist or something, but to me, this looks like a piece of garlic bread. Maybe I'm just a bit hungry, but that's what I see. I'm gonna give this one a bad tier. And this is the panda. It does look very cute, but the lack of eyes is really throwing me off. It's got like the dark circles around the eyes, but no eyes, so it looks kinda ominous. If it had some eyes, I would put it in the amazing tier. But since it does look a little bit creepy, I'm gonna put it in the good tier. And now, the parrot. I really like how this one came out and how it shows all the different colors and the beak and even the little thing on top. Amazing tier. And now for the phantom. This egg kinda sucks. It doesn't have any wings, no green eyes or anything. I feel like Mojang could have done a little bit better with this one, so I'll give it a bad tier. And here we have the pig, a very iconic mob, just not quite as good as the chicken or cow spawn egg. Nice tier. And here we have the piglin brute, pretty good, not quite as good as the hoglin, but still pretty good, maybe a little bit too detailed. Good tier. And same thing with the piglin, pretty detailed, you can tell what it is, but maybe a bit too detailed for an egg. Good tier. And here is the illager. Does a pretty good job at showing what it is, but kind of the same as the evoker. And then the polar bear, again, very minimalistic, very good egg, good tier. And here we have the pufferfish. I like how it's got all the spikes and all the water around it, so I'll give it a nice tier. And here we have the rabbit. Now, in my opinion, I think that the armadillo looks a lot more like a rabbit than the rabbit spawn egg. Maybe that's just me, but I'm going to put the rabbit in a bad tier. Could have been a lot better. Now for the ravager. This one actually came out pretty well. I like how it's a lot bigger than the others because the ravagers are pretty big mobs, so I'll give it a nice tier. Then the salmon, pretty good egg, nice tier. And for the sheep, it's a little bit worse than the chicken, but better than the pig, so I'll give it a good tier. And then for the shulker spawn egg, I really like how they showed it separated, not just like a solid purple egg. This one's pretty good, so I'll give it a good tier. And then for the silverfish, not that great of a design, just like a little gray blob, so it's gonna go somewhere down here. Now, this one and this one are very similar. The skeleton horse and the skeleton. And in my opinion, they're both terrible in egg form. The ghast at least looks like the egg. These are just terrible, like there's no rib cage or anything. They're going in the bad tier. And then for the slime, I like how it looks kind of gooey and drippy and really shows what the slime is. Good tier. And then for the sniffer, again, very good egg, very descriptive, but not overly detailed. Good tier. And then for the snow golem, it does look kind of melted, but that's kind of what you get when you put it in egg form. Good tier. And then for the spider, again, not that great, no eyes or really anything. Lacking tier. At least it's got legs. And then for the squid, again, no tentacles. And then the mouth is like kind of around the bottom of it, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Kind of looks pretty ugly. This one's going in the bad tier. It was less noticeable in the glow squid. And then for the stray, a lot better than the skeleton, but could be a lot better. Alright tier. And for the strider, very good egg. Shows the little whiskers, just does a good job of putting it in egg form. Good tier. Now for the tadpole, I don't know why this one's so big. It's bigger than the chicken and the silverfish spawn egg, which doesn't make a lot of sense since tadpoles are tiny. Not a terrible design, but I'll put it in the lacking tier. And now for the trader llamas. I think this one's a little bit better than the normal llama just because it shows like the trader part of it, so I'll put it in the nice tier. And then for the clownfish, I get what they were going for. Looks kinda nice, but these water mobs just aren't that great. Nice tier. And then for the turtle, same thing. Looks decent, but not amazing. Alright tier. Now for the Vex, this one's pretty similar to the Allay. It's pretty much the same design, but just gray. I like the Allay design a little bit better, so this one's going in the alright tier. And for the villager, I know I said these are kinda goofy, but when the villager's nose takes up a third of the spawn egg, that just seems very appropriate. It's going in the good tier. Now the Vindicator on the other hand does not look amazing when it's all blown up like that, so I'll give it an alright tier. And then the Wandering Trader, I just don't like Wandering Traders like at all. Nothing to do with the egg, just not a good mob, bad tier. Now the Warden on the other hand, best egg here, hands down. It looks amazing, it shows exactly what it is, it's got all the colors, it's just an amazing spawn egg. Amazing tier. And then the Witch, another great egg. It shows like the full body, it's got the hat, the giant nose, the eyebrows, the cloak, everything. Amazing tier. And now back to the not so great ones. We have the Wither skeleton. In my opinion, a bit better than the skeleton, but not by much. Lacking tier. And then the wolf, pretty good, not amazing, nice tier. And then for the Zoglin, It's kind of like the Hoglin, but there's a little bit too much going on. It does show what it is pretty well, but not great. Nice tier. And then for the zombie horse, I don't remember the last time anyone's tried to spawn one of these in. But regardless, not a terrible egg, not a great egg, alright tier. Then for the zombie villager, it's just not quite the same as the villager, so I'll give it a nice tier. And then for the zombie, this one does a pretty good job, shows what it is, very iconic, good tier. And last but not least, the zombified piglin. I don't know what this little brown thing is, but it's an alright egg. Nice tier. So this is my ranking on all the different spawn eggs in Minecraft. Some of them are not great, some of them are much better than the old ones. Gonna miss the old ones a little bit, but thanks for watching. Subscribe, stay tuned, more content might be on the way somewhat soon, maybe. I'll try. But anyways, smash like, leave a comment, and go drink some water.